Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and this is your friend Han again, and it is great to see you here tonight. And tonight I have something fantastic to share with you again, and the name of the product this time is called the Pause Hava. Pause Hava. Pause Hava. You can see over here. Anyway, so I found the name is entertaining. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, so it is on a serious note, this thing is a very one of a kind. Like not so much as a social sharing button, but that's what kind of essentially does, and it can share ads or anything you want to do, or even the Amazon buy button when you hover over an image, which you're gonna see at the end of the interview. There's a short demo video you're gonna watch, and it's very unique. It's pretty to summarize up what this plugin does with one word. If I had to do that, is it's pretty slick. Okay, you're gonna see that. Okay, all right. So I happen to get the product creator. Her name is Leah, and she's gonna come here to share with some awesome social tips, and they're gonna talk about more why using image to get traffic on your website specifically is more effective than those social share with buttons on the top or down the bottom. You know, we see that all the time. And share some of the results she's currently getting by using this brand new plugin. So anyway, so let's just kind of go watching the interview and enjoying it, and make sure you stay tuned, watch the demo video. And this is your friend Han, and until next time, keep smiling, may love and peace always be with you, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Hi, good morning, this is your friend Han here, and it is great to see you here this morning, and I'm very excited to have Leah here to share some awesome conversion tips and how to get people to click on the social sharing links on your website. And at the end of this interview, she's gonna actually talk about, it's a fantastic product she's gonna launch it with Giovanna, and it's a one of a kind. It's kind of like you hover over the image, and it looks very slick, and I believe it's really gonna increase your click-through rate, all that great stuff. I'm gonna let her kind of talk about in detail in the next couple of minutes. But before we get into all the excitements, let's kind of learn how Leah got started with the internet marketing, but most importantly, what exactly did she do to achieve a level of success that she has today. So Leah, could you kind of take it over the mic and tell us how your unique internet marketing story with us?
Indeed I can, and thank you very much for having me on today, Han. I started out looking into internet marketing, because I had my own business, my own offline business, and that's something I've done for many years. So I'm a trained psychotherapist actually, and studied the mind for many years. Started all the way back in my early 20s, and have just been obsessed really with trying to understand behaviour essentially. So obviously that segues or crosses over into marketing quite nicely, but I didn't I jumped through all the hoops basically. I did all the things that most people do before I found the success that I now enjoy, and that's because the reason why I started looking into internet marketing was because I wanted to get more let's say exposure for my own business through the internet, because it was all the way back in the early 2000s when websites started being the preferred method for advertising. And the way my business started out was locally as a kind of a therapist and a coach, and so local business was easy. That was using things like local advertising. I actually even had what people call a column in the local newspaper, so I used to write something in there every week, and that actually got me quite a lot of really good exposure. But I was very limited to the type of people that I could see, and the let's say the amount that I could charge. And actually I met a really fantastic, very well known and highly respected guy who had an office up in London, and I asked him what his charges were and how he worked and everything, and when he told me that it was, I think it was hang on a minute, that was it was 3 times as much as what I was able to charge. I thought, well, that's just ridiculous. For the same amount of hours I could actually earn quite a lot more money just by getting an office in London, and it's a 30-minute train ride for me. So I found an office in Harley Street, and that's very prestigious in London, in England. It's the place where everybody who's got money, whether they're rich, famous, or top business people, will go to see any kind of a coach or any sort of professional mind or body expert. Even the dentists charge fortunes up there. So anyway, that's kind of where I went, but I needed a different way to actually get clients through the door, and that's where the website really got born. But I didn't know how to do it without having to pay stupid amounts of money to Google. So I got very good at Google AdWords, but I still didn't like the idea of paying what started out as 4p a click, which is about 6 cents in America. And ended up paying £4, which £4, which is about $650 per click. And I thought, well, that's insane. I needed to. Yes, it was extraordinary. It was really extraordinary. And so I decided that what I had been doing, actually, just to kind of jump back a little bit, was I'd been following a guy who clearly was very technically minded, but did the same thing as I. And I noticed that his website was always featured on page 1 for a lot of keywords. And I thought, well, how on earth is he doing it? So I started to reverse engineer what he was doing to learn how he was getting that kind of exposure. And of course, the first thing that hit me was keywords. So I learned all about keywords and keyword optimization. Then I learned about other search engine optimization strategies. And I kept sort of walking more and more into internet marketing, found the Warrior Forum. Then I bumped into ClickBank because I was looking for ways to actually create products digitally. So, for example, some of the clients that I worked with would like extra support between the sessions that we might be working on. Say they're a terribly stressed out businessman, and they wanted some extra ways to focus their mind or relax or whatever, because I'm a fully qualified clinical hypnotherapist as well. And so I thought, well, I know that's easy. I can just make them a nice recording and give that to them. But I wanted to do it properly and professionally. So I started learning about the creation of digital products. That's why I found ClickBank. And after I found ClickBank, I started thinking, well, I could do a little bit of this, put a few affiliate products on a website. The more I learned about search engine optimization, the more I realized I could possibly build a few niche sites. And because I didn't work full-time all the time as a coach, just because, well, I was doing extremely well. I had a very, very successful business. But the recession had hit. So it started to go a little bit down like this. And I was also at the time doing quite a lot of training. And that was very profitable. You could do a couple of days training and earn what most people earn in a month. And it was great. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. I do a lot of NLP training and things, sales stuff and stress management and all sorts of things. And but as I say, their budgets were starting to dry up because of the recession. Everyone was starting to go into panic mode. So rather than
I can just find myself NLP on them.
Yeah, well, globally that was a bit. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage to get hold of them all, but yes, that would have been nice. It was very interesting, I have to say, just as a sideline, to observe the behaviour of individuals because of what was being written about and talked about. But it's public panic, isn't it? Anyway. I needed to be able to start building a different business or using my time wisely, and that's where all the stuff I'd been learning started to come into play. But I did what most people do. I caught the shiny object syndrome, and I started thinking that every next product was going to be the one that was going to do everything. So I did what a lot of people do, which I bought things I never used. I bought things because I thought I was going to need them, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what I like, what I don't like, what makes products attractive. But of course, what I started to really begin doing was thinking about how to make a product better from the psychology side of things. So what about that particular plugin, that product is going to be influential to site visitors? Why will it increase people's traffic or increase people's profit or increase people's subscribers? So I found myself getting involved in a few projects, more as the marketer and kind of throwing in my knowledge on that side. And it was only really when Giovanna and I started to work together that we began to develop our own products. And we have exactly the same morals and ethics and business ideas. And that's why we've got on for well over a year before we actually decided to start working together, which we've been doing this year. And this is our second launch, but we've got quite a few more lined up, if you like, because once the ideas start to brew and you meet somebody who you gel well with, it's then really quite easy to keep coming up with new things. So the one that we launched previously, that did extremely well, was very popular, and so this one, Pulse Hover, is the next one that we're launching, and it's combining WordPress, which is our favorite platform. It's combining plugins because they're simple and easy to install, and it's combining a lot of psychology to increase people's traffic flow, to use all of the things that Google's recommending we do, because Google's dumping everybody really. If you don't use their products, you don't stand much chance of actually getting a site ranked or getting any kind of attention. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at now. Oh, cool. Did I miss anything?
So what was that one thing kept you going? What was that one motivation thing, after you starting, seeing the downfall of the economy? What was that one thing that kept you going, still going after internet marketing stuff?
Well, I'm kind of I hope this doesn't sound arrogant, but I see myself as a born entrepreneur. My family all are. Everyone in my family is very entrepreneurial. So I don't mean to say we don't work for money, because everybody wants to earn money, but I'd already built an incredibly successful business, and what I could have done was used all of my knowledge and experience in internet marketing to actually reboot that, if you like. I could have done that, but I actually found myself falling in love with all things to do with marketing, and it was so different and so new, but yet still tapped into all of the things I also love about the mind, psychology, influencer behavior, all that sort of thing. So I just knew, I felt strongly that eventually the success would come when I found the right thing. And so affiliate marketing, yes, I had some success, but then sites started getting hacked, and I realized there was a few more loopholes, things that I hadn't learned yet or worked out yet. And then I found myself involved in product creation, because what I wanted to do then was learn how to market a product, how to bring a product to market so that people know you exist. Right. And I realized that that's a whole different genre. It's a completely different thing altogether. And so it was another opportunity to learn again, and meeting people who are successful and realizing that they're actually just like everybody else. The names of the successful marketers that people are very familiar with are just the same as you and I. And we all have, fears, and everybody has had problems. And I think that's pretty true of most people. They have had some real difficulties along the way, but actually those difficulties become lessons. And that's what really worked for me, was being able to flip that round, so that the things that I'd found really difficult, I will always keep in mind whenever we're working on a new product, because we want it to be easy for other people.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Since you are into mind and psychology and study human behaviors, what would you say to someone who's just starting out the internet marketing, that have tried out different things, it hasn't worked for them, and yet they're at the edge of giving up, say the internet marketing does not work, screw this thing? Well, what would you say to someone like that to perhaps keep them going, or perhaps they should just maybe walk it away? What would you, from your past experience, what would you say to someone like that?
Well, I'd say that it is true that most people have actually experienced that. Most of the people who are now successful have been on that ledge and literally ready to jump off and give it up. But you've already invested such a huge amount of mental energy, of physical energy, very often a lot of money, learning everything that you've learned and becoming as knowledgeable as that you've become. And you can go in so many different directions, but the important thing is to really determine what you like. Because it's that when you find that thing that you like doing, like I love designing products, just love it. I love the brainstorming, I love the research, I love the copywriting, which sometimes can be very stressful, but I still enjoy that. And just about every element of it, the networking that's involved, there's fun in that. The other thing I would really strongly recommend is, if someone's feeling that way, to actually get involved in some groups. Because there are lots and lots of Facebook groups now, and a lot of marketers. I run several, and some of them for customers, some of them for affiliates, working together to launch products. And the environment that you work on. I mean, there are lots actually which are just spam fests, and obviously those aren't going to be useful for anybody unless they've got a complete addiction to buying stuff. But those where you find the environment is a lot more tailored towards being supportive and helpful, people can ask questions, other people will come in and give advice and recommendations, and find people like you. That's what I would recommend, is finding other people who are like you, who are in need and do have something that's stumbling block, let's say, but keep focusing on the end goal as well.
Okay, so to sum it up, you gotta do what you love and love what you do, and join a mastermind group. If you listen to Nathaniel Hill, and he said the number 2 secret to success is join a mastermind group. I'm not gonna tell you what number 1 is yet. Anyway, so let's talk about the conversion a little bit. Obviously, everybody know that nowadays you need to, social ranking, have social votes, everything onto their website, and everybody knows that you need to put those, social buttons on the website. But some, for someone who's listening to this right now, they probably still really struggling to get people to click on those. Can you maybe give us some tips, or maybe give us some your thoughts on that, and see why it isn't working, and most importantly, how to get it to work?
Well, actually SEO and search engine optimization is something that I've been following for a long time. It was one of those little hobbies, if you like, when I had my offline business that I focused on more. So I've been kind of watching what Google's done and the changes and all the amazing things that happened in the last couple of years. But one of the things that I at a recent event in Manchester, actually not in Manchester, this one was in London, there was a Google representative there, but he wasn't there as a Google representative. He was just a Google employee who's not allowed to tell you anything, because it's like their secret sauce. They're not really allowed to tell you anything. But one of the other marketers was actually asking questions, and he was kind enough to answer in such a way that you could actually take from it quite a lot. And one of the things that really came through was that social is the significantly important element in Google's eyes now, way more than all of the other elements that used to be so important. Obviously, content first. Content has to make sense, the keywords have to make sense, and you need media. You need as much media on a page as possible, not just because of reader interest and visitor interest, but because actually Google is interested in that. You want to make it so that it's possible for when people to arrive on your content, that they actually then are in let's say they're compelled. You compel them to want to share your content. And images are something like 80% more often shared than any other type of content. So even if a person's enjoying the passage that you've written, there might be some great quotes in there, but really what they're going to share and what they're compelled to share automatically is the images. So what we started looking at was a way to actually connect the social sharing opportunities with an image, because heat maps show that that's what people look at. And the way that heat maps work, for a lot of people who aren't sure, is obviously computers can't tell what your eyes are doing, but people's mouse becomes their eyes. So wherever the mouse is going across the page is where the person's actually looking, and they can track that. So what research has actually shown is that people will go to the image. They will hover over the image. They're more interested in the image. They're going to the image. They'll look at the image. They'll take the image on board. And human beings have a natural response to things that are familiar. Now, you can take a snapshot of an image and it can tell you a whole story in no seconds at all, whereas to actually have to read a whole passage of content is a completely different experience. So what we started talking about was finding ways to actually use images as a pattern interrupt, as a way of actually catching someone's attention. The minute they're on that site, they start scrolling down like they do. And so the plugin that we designed, Pulse Hover, is actually creating a hover over action that hovers over an image, and then it pops out, well, because of the way that the background is actually set up, it enables whatever you've decided to set in there to pop out. And that immediately attracts people's attention with a call to action. So the typical social sharing buttons, which sit often down the bottom or maybe at the top of a page, will very often now be ignored because people get used to it. and they're not as inspired to use it as they were when it was new. Anything new, people take notice of. That's why pattern interrupts are something that most product creators are fixated with. How can we find another one, another way to interrupt people's attention? So what we've actually got there is we've put into the plugin this hover over that immediately changes the image. It immediately attracts the eye and holds the person's attention there, so that you can then decide if you want to, because there's a number of different customizable features, to put some social sharing buttons in there, and they can go ahead and share that the content anywhere online. But we've also then thrown in the opportunity, if they want to use one of their images, because you can have 2 or 3 images on a post, or just 1 or 2 or whatever, but you can do different things with each one. So you can have a hover over that's a call to action saying, check out this product, or it can be a buy button, or because we've got the redirect option in there as well, or it can be what else have we got? Or any kind of call to action that you can think of that you can upload yourself. So backgrounds can be uploaded according to taste, or there are a whole load in there that people can choose from. Then you've got buttons. Again, you can choose your own and upload those, or you can use the ones that we've already installed. And then we've got banners. And the banners, as I say, are those other alternative calls to action. But again, you can choose your own, and if you want to, you can install even an animated banner that is an advertisement for an affiliate program, can become what hovers over. So the hover is actually the background action, and then you create the pop-out, well, the pop-out being something that's a visual experience. It doesn't actually leap out of the page, but it pops up because, and it's not a pop-up, I shouldn't use that word, it's completely conflicting, but it's actually just going to stand out. It's going to really stand out and attract attention because of the nature of the plugin.
I think it's more like a hover over pop-up. It's not even, yeah, you're right, it's not even pop-up. It's, I don't know. I think for those who's listening to this, if you're confused, it's okay, because we're going to show you a demo video on how this how this thing works. And you're also going to check out the demo site as well, so you know how cool this is. Before we're gonna get into more detail about the plugin, let's talk about some of the use you can use for this image hover over. I mean, from what I've seen so far, you can, for example, like if you have Amazon affiliates, I know many of you do. If you have a product image, usually people don't even link that image to the product, which I don't even understand why. A lot of people click on those images, by the way, and you can add a Amazon buy button to hover over the product. Let's say you're selling a baby care seats. You can now usually the image is just like there,
Yeah.
But now with this plugin, you can hover over the image and then you can immediately say buy from Amazon.
Yeah.
And a big yellow button there, so people are gonna be even more enticed to click that image, which is gonna earn you more affiliate link. This is one way to use it. Another way is, if you're offline marketers, you might put an image of something like get discount code here or something, a coupon code here, and when they hover over the image, you can either just display the coupon code there, or you can make them click on something and share it first, then deliver the coupon code. It's just so many different ways to use this. It's the way I'm looking at it right now. It's not very. I mean, if you don't hover over, you don't know it's there. So it's not like in the face kind of thing. Some of the pop-up is really annoying. This is definitely not annoying. It doesn't really interrupt the flow of the website. And so if you're reading an article with the image pop-up, with the image inside of it. With a typical plugin like this, you're gonna have a pop-up or hover over, just cover the entire page, doing entire interruption there. Which if I'm a reader, I haven't finished the whole review or whatever you're reading about, you're gonna feel annoying about it. But this is totally different, because you can read the entire article without even knowing that thing's there.
Yeah.
Even you find out it's there, you can still finish the entire flow of the website without interrupting the experience.
Yeah.
So you guys gonna see what I'm talking about when you see the demo video here. Demo video and the demo side here. So it's a very, very slick way to get this done. Like she said here, a very good important point is those social sharing links. They tend to falling down to the ad blindness category now, because every site has one of those, and everybody sees it. Sometimes when you're positioned on the top, scroll down the page, that thing disappears. Above the fold, it just disappears. And then if you put the one down the very bottom, you look at the website above the fold, you can't see the share link down the bottom. But this one, you can actually position imaging in a way you capture your attention. You just image have something I guess psychologically do to you. You just want to kind of hover your mouse to it naturally. That's just, don't know why that happens, but if you ever stop at a web page and you see an image, you just want to kind of hover your mouse, see, is this collectible or what's going on here? Maybe it's like video got watch or something, but and that stuff more than me. But so and to have something like this, position like this, is kind of cool. It's like I haven't seen anybody done this. Can you share some of the results that your beta tester or maybe even you getting by using this technique here?
Yeah, well, I was talking to a guy just a few hours ago actually, who's been using it on, he's got a very image-based site, and the images are artistic photographs, and there's another chap who's actually promoting music. Okay. So he's using images that relate to the music, and the other guy, obviously, he's promoting the images that are for sale. And what he said is the difference in the number of people sharing, the number of people actually spending time on the images, or spending time on his pages rather, so his bounce rates improved, is amazing to him. That's what he's most surprised about, because what he said he believes used to happen is that people would just kind of scroll down, and obviously they perhaps would stop at an image that was more attractive to them or more appealing. But now he said it's almost as if you get a feeling they're playing, which is obviously what we were aiming for. Is, as you said, you do feel quite compelled to actually do it again once you've realised what it does, because it's so different and it's not been seen before. Then people are much more inclined to actually check it and see what it does. And again, what you're very correct on saying is how often images are clicked on, because people assume that images do something, or take us somewhere, or give us an opportunity to go, click on whatever. And far too often, again, as you say, people don't even attach any kind of link to a product promotion, which is a missed opportunity. So there's all those sorts of opportunities. And as I say, the beta testers are finding that people are spending more time on the page, and they attribute that directly to the hover over effect, because it's just so different, and people are actually checking it out and checking it out again. But what we have got offline businesses who are, as far as they're concerned, they see it as an opportunity to promote another service, another side to their service, because as you rightly said, there's an awful lot of opportunities to create a coupon code or a special offer. And one of the other things that we've done for the customers is we've created a free report, but we'll also be throwing I will be, some tips and so on for what actually scientifically has been proven to attract attention in terms of images and response to images, what people like, why they like it, the emotional factors, the psychological factors, all those kinds of things. So, and actually I did a whole was working on a number of examples for offline businesses, and included the talk about, use specific language, make sure the language in the image is the part of the call to action. Then when they hover over, there's your click link, get this special offer now, or sign up now, whatever it is you want them to actually click on to, because obviously you can use those redirect links to take them directly to a squeeze page or a sales page. As the sky's the limit really, what you can do. But images, as I say, attract attention so much more than text, and that's why we targeted that primarily.
It's not a content locker.
No.
And it might appears like a content locker, but it's not a content locker. So which is what I like about it. I mean, and content locker, you had to kind of guess what's underneath of it. This thing, you already seen it. Then if you like it, you're gonna share it. So and will do whatever you want the user to do. So it's pretty cool here. Can we kind of right now kind of dive into the product here? Let's talk about you know, time of the launch and the product name. How much you're gonna, you know, what's the front end offer price, and what exactly are they getting the front end offer, and then we'll talk about what is in the OTO here.
Okay, so the front end offer is going out at $17 as the starting, you know, nice early bird price, and that's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So that's actually the 17th of July. That's when the product is launched at that price. And once you get the plugin and get it installed, then you will find a number of different background options. So we have the backgrounds that become the hover, and you can set that to whatever opacity, so either the whole image or just a shadow of the image is what will appear when people hover over. And then and you can upload your own. Importantly, you can upload any background of your choosing. So you can choose different colours according to your particular theme, different patterns, you know, depending on what you like. And again, it, you know, very targeted to whatever your niche is really like. But we've got some already sitting in there for people to use. Then you go to the social icons, and again we've got a series of social icons to choose from immediately. So you don't need anything else when you first get the plugin, it's all there for you. But if you want to go and upload more, then you've got the option to actually do that too. And then we move on to the, oh, and by the way, with the social sharing buttons, you can choose either social sharing or follow me. So if you've got a different image somewhere on the site, and for that you want people to actually follow you on your various Twitter or Facebook pages, then you can set it in that way too. And then we move on to the banners. So the banners are, you know, whatever you can think of basically, but also there are some presets in there that people can choose to, you know, entice. Again, it's a call to action. So click here now, download now, get access now, and you can upload your own, choose your own. So that's buttons, ads, oh, we haven't done buttons, and then buttons. And of course this is where the Amazon buttons become very popular. And so you've got a number of buttons that are already set inside the plugin. You can use any of those, or again, if you've got your own preferred buttons, upload those, install those in the plugin and choose those. And then you have the opportunity to create what we call presets. So that's where you can actually configure the entire hover over effect and set it and name it. And then when you go in and actually pick up an image and install an image on a page, you can actually then choose one of those that you've set to have that particular hover effect so that it can be done manually. Or you can choose to have it on all posts, all pages, you know, the usual sorts of, as you'd expect. So that's what the plugin will do.
I think you forgot to mention the name.
Pulse Hover! With hover effect. It's another Pulse product. That's a bit of a branding for our plugins that we're releasing. So if you see the word Pulse, then there's something following it, then you know it's one of ours. So Pulse Hover is the name.
So let me kind of put you in the hot seat a little bit here. And by the way, after you guys watching the video, you know this is one of a kind plugin and nobody has ever developed like this. Is, you know, I mean, people already have so many social share buttons on their side and so many other social, quote-unquote, social plugins. Why should they get yours? Why is yours, how is yours different than the others? And how is yours going to be more benefit to them in a way? So just kind of, maybe kind of, you know, tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. Well, there's two real main unique selling points, if you like, to this particular product. The first one is the fact that you get free traffic, which is obviously high on everybody's list of concerns. So as soon as your images start getting shared, and just a quick statistic here, which I personally found very interesting, if not a little extraordinary, is that what goes viral on Facebook is 93% of the time an image. So 93% of the time what's gone viral is going to be an image. So whether the image is a quote or whether it's there's something amazing about it, the stories in the image, or whatever it is about it that's amazing, and that's what sends it viral. So obviously there's that opportunity, because Facebook now is becoming another search engine. So the opportunity to get so much more free traffic, so many more eyes on your page, is increased because of using this particular plugin. And the other unique selling point is the fact that it is just a huge pattern interrupt, because it's so different, it's so unexpected, and as you said, it's subtle. So it's not popping out, which has been seen or deemed to become slightly more aggravating to people browsing. This doesn't do anything like that. It's so subtle, but there's an element of happy surprise because it's not expected. And then, as I say, you've got the opportunity then to highlight the call to action, and human beings do respond to calls to action, particularly if they're already interested in the site, they're already interested in the content, and they're already clearly interested in the image. So therefore they're so much more ready and inspired to actually take some action. And there's an element of reciprocation in there, which might sound strange, but you gave them an image, you gave them a happy surprise, and then there's an opportunity for them to reciprocate by actually taking advantage of your call to action.
Right. So I like you pointing out. I would have totally missed it. Is that most people on the social network environment are sharing the image, and that's an important takeaway from there. So yeah, and I think Leah, I got all the questions I need to ask you here today. Before we leave here today, do you have any final words of wisdom you would like to share?
Well, I think you'll absolutely love it, and I hope that if anybody does pick this up, that what they will also do is pay attention to their emails, because it is my intention to make sure they've got as many positive tips and ideas for all the different niches as possible, to make sure that their images will stand out and they will actually get that attention, and have that extra lovely traffic coming to their site. So yeah, keep an eye on the extra emails that will be coming out over the coming weeks. And get it quick before the price goes up, because obviously these are early bird prices, and it will be repackaged and resold at considerably. And that isn't just a marketing spiel, it's true. So yeah, we're offering it now for those who are interested at that lovely price.
Okay, all right, thank you, Leah. And for those who are watching this, please stay tuned. I'll watch a very short demo so you can see how this plugin works. But most of them how it's really going to benefit you. I am going to put a demo link right below this video, so just kind of click on that and check it out and all that great stuff. So and watch out for my email tomorrow, and check out my bonuses, all that, and my personal review on this as well. So thanks again for watching, and Leah, thank you so much for your time, and share some awesome insights about these plugins and some awesome social tips with us as well. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you so much, Han. Thank you. And thanks everyone else.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Pulse Hover product review. I'm going to walk you through the features, benefits, and even the background to this plugin, as well as then take you on a quick tour so that you can see for yourself the enormous potential of this unique plugin. So why was Pulse Hover created? Well, getting traffic to your site keeps getting harder. Social sharing presents an excellent opportunity, but most social sharing plugins cause icon blindness. People stopped seeing your sharing requests. Images are shared more than any other content online. Getting people's attention required clever thinking and high-end design. Pulse Hover designers took things a step further. They decided that we need a new way to get traffic. We need a new way to encourage content sharing. We know that images are shared more than any other media, and we know the figures for viral sharing of images is 93%. So, with the user-friendly high-end design in mind, it also has to be easy to install, simple to set up, highly influential. It's got to be customizable, have many features and added benefits, and be super attractive to all niches. It needs to become the savvy marketer's choice of plugin. So let's talk about the product. It's a WordPress plugin. It works on all computers. It's easy to install. It's got full tutorials, videos, and a PDF. It's fully supported and proven vendors. The product's purpose? Well, boosting your traffic. Social sharing opportunities abound. Unique pattern interrupts. It's fully customizable. Works where other social sharing options have failed, and is highly influential with its calls to action, as well as having the redirect option to multiple profitable links. The profit features. Comes with a choice of graphics. Create preset hovers. Use your own backgrounds. Use your own icons. Use your own buttons, and even more features. Add your own buttons for your niche. Add affiliate banners, including animated. Add buy buttons. Use for social sharing of your content. Ask prospects to follow you. The product benefits. Well, there are those amazing free traffic boosting opportunities. Using images are most shared content anywhere online. Benefit from the viral sharing. Remember, those statistics show it's 93% on images. Use the unique pattern interrupt that's unseen before. Multiple influential call to action opportunities. Connect your call to action button with any URL of your choice. And yet more benefits. Send visitors to an affiliate promotion. Send prospects directly to your Amazon product. Send prospects to your new Kindle book. Send your prospects to a customer offer. You can redirect to an opt-in or squeeze page and send prospects to your own sales pages. So why buy now? Well, let's go for a tour and take a look at what the plugin actually does. So here we are on the Marketing Gene site. Let's take a look at some of the examples of Pulse Hover. Now you can see in front of you a couple of images, and as is shown, the images on websites are hovered over. People naturally use their mouse in the same way as they would do a set of eyes. So wherever they're looking, they tend to move their mouse. And as you can see, that is a pattern interrupt. That is an example of just how amazing this new unique plugin is. Move the mouse and the hover disappears. Mouse over and the hover appears. Now there are so many customizable features inside this plugin, you'll very quickly see just how easy it's going to be to tailor this to suit your niche and your business. Let me show you another example. Now you can see there's a very different kind of background here, and of course what we're looking at is a banner ad. So the banner ad can be clicked on. It's an animated banner ad that works perfectly with the plugin. You can choose the opacity of the background and have as much of the background image showing through as you wish. And here's a final example. Hover over and you can see the buy from Amazon button. So imagine that's one of your product images, and the customer is, as they always do, and as many other statistical research and plugins have actually shown with heat maps and so on, people do hover over images. It's very common for them to do so. So let's have a look at the back end. We'll start with the backgrounds. What you're ultimately going to be doing is taking all these different tabs here, and you're going to add as many of the options as you wish, your own graphics and so on, and then you'll create your presets. So as you can see here, there's a lot of different designs here already in place, but you can select any of your own backgrounds to upload and simply save those. Then you move on to the social element, and here if you want people to follow you, and remember this is something you can do on just one or two images on your site. You don't have to have the same thing on all of your images. This is very much what you choose. So you would add here for, say, Facebook, Pinterest and Twitter, and if you don't add your username to any of the others, then they simply won't appear. Here are the options for some of the icons, and we've uploaded a couple more here. You can upload your own icon sets. Save those. Let's move on to the buttons. So this is an example of some of the buttons. These are all, remember, calls to action. Just as the social icons are, these are calls to action. Download your free report, buy now with one click, get instant access, Amazon buttons, start now, download now, get your coupon, click here for instant access, or select other buttons to upload. Let's move on to the banners. And again, we've got a lot of different calls to action here. Limited free trial, limited offer, buy now, guaranteed bestseller, limited edition, order now, subscribe today, and here's an example of an affiliate banner. And of course you can upload as many of those as you wish, and you can do that just here. Let's move on to the presets, which is where some of the action really starts to take place. Now I want to draw your attention over here to the presets that are already listed. So these are some that have been created. Now what this plugin enables you to do is to create as many of these presets as you desire. So design them first, label them, and then you can either choose to have them appear on all images on posts, all images on pages. You can have them appear on manual images that are uploaded, so that you get to choose exactly how each image on your site is going to appear using the Pulse Hover plugin. So let's have a look here. Step 1, you would select an element to hover. So do you want to have the social buttons, the buttons, or the banners? Well, if I click on social buttons, they then appear in step 2. But if I were to click on buttons, then we would have our buttons appear. And of course here you've got the option to redirect to any URL of your choice. And then we have the banners. And once again, the banner URL is going to be linking to whatever page relates to whatever the banner offer is, or of course it's going to link to your affiliate link. So once those are selected, then of course you're going to choose your background, the background of your choosing. And you can have that as faded or as deep as you wish. So if you were to go for 100%, and of course what that's going to mean is that your hover over image is going to completely obscure the image behind. But if you go for something like 30%, then you're only going to see a little of the background. And of course that's going to enable your banner, button or icons to show up. What you can also do then for extra effect and pattern interruption is add the different effects here. So the bounce in and out, fade in and out, slide in and out and roll down, depending on what suits your niche. And then of course you've got different directions for the hover. So very, very customizable. You can select the display option where you want the hover to appear, and then you can name it. And once you've done that, you would simply save it. So let's just come back over here and remind you that you can edit or delete any of the presets anytime you wish. So now you can see the full potential of this amazing plugin. So we come back to why buy now. Well, this price is an early bird price. This is a high-end product, so there will be a price increase. You will gain quickly from the product benefits. And when you buy through this link, you get an excellent bonus. So buy now through the button below and get more for your money. Pulse Hover. Experience the power of attraction in action and grab your copy now. Just click on the button below the video.